My first approach usually to getting a best sound is actually gauging the acoustics of the venue, finding out where the sound reflection is, how the stage is, how big the stage is, loudness level on stage. In that case, I usually go with a fail-safe kind of microphone set as well. Most of the time, it's the dynamic microphones. And then I started to scale it up slowly. So sometimes sound systems there is catered to DJs more than live bands. If they have equipment, let's say as in music instruments, they call them usually backline. It's usually an entry level, which is not very good for intermediate musicians or let's say gigging musicians. So find a good crossover between that and trying to make the best sound quality out of that can be quite challenging in that case. So usually the best is actually, or the most convenient thing for sound engineers is having a sound check, because then I can have a preset and I can just recall that preset and we can move from that. Sometimes as well, my workflow with the band actually helps a lot. But one of the biggest challenges is when you have a lineup that is random, or when you have, let's say, for example, like a jam night, when you don't know who's going to be on stage, what kind of equipment they have, what are they going to connect to. So as I'm doing the sound checks with the band, I push the system to the extremes and see where is it falling out. Some bands, they're playing on stage for the first time, they never expect the sound to be at a certain level or certain loudness. They look at it as an ideal place to be. Then we need to work with setting expectations in that case. So as I'm starting the sound, the wiring with the bands, if we didn't do a sound check, I start to set their expectations, like where to work from and what to expect. If they're playing more than one song, then I tell them, your first song is a song that you play by heart. The second one, we'll tweak it accordingly, in which you'll play more comfortable by the rest of the songs. So usually finding a balance is the most important things. And I always go back to setting expectations with the bands. This is the best way, so they will not be intimidated by something they're not expecting. On the other part, I make them to play as much comfortable as they could.